erase it. The rest of it, we yo. Alright, here we go. Mute that. Boom, right you on. It's a resolution. Da-da-da. Boom. And she is live. Boom. New weed. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see what we got. Hold on, people. I'm almost there. Lord Jesus. Well, can't find it. Let's see. She should be going. Let's see. Hold on one second. I'm almost ready, guys. Oh, wow. Let's see. Just trying to see if we live. And we is. Alright, got it. Alright, almost there. One more thing, guys. We'll be ready. That. Alright, let's go Tiki Talkie. Let's go there. Go live. She is live and recording. Let's get this thing popping. Come out. Go back in. Yeah, let's get you going. They ain't giving me many people. Yeah, get some people in here. All right, so we got them in there. Boom, sent out. Boom. Oops. Got one more thing. Move you over there. You know, we put her there for right now. Put it right there. Hopefully. Got that. So she's recording. Mic is on. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. On there. Boom. Boom. And bang, bang. All right, people. I think we're ready. Yep, we're good. All right. Let me get this music down. All right, people, welcome. I'll give people a little bit of time. Hopefully, they'll let my people back in again. We were rocking and rolling over here on this channel one time, and they decided to put a monkey wrench into that for no apparent reason. But welcome back to a brand new episode of the Race to Wrestling podcast. I am your host himself, L. Scott. You may not, but eventually see the name on the screen. People, on today's episode, like I do every week, I like to do a Raw preview and a SmackDown preview, and then I like to do a SmackDown review on the Raw preview and a sometimes a Raw review on SmackDown preview. But really, nothing really happened on Raw this week, so we're not gonna go that direction. We're gonna go in a different direction today. We're gonna go in the direction of, we're gonna talk about a little bit of, I saw this Bleacher Report, plus make sure everything's going. Oops, you probably would better if you could hear my microphone, YouTube. I am so sorry. See, that's why you always gotta make sure you're paying attention to everything. You ain't hear nothing I said. So, well, pick it up from where we at. So YouTube can hear TikTok, so I'm gonna say it again. Basically, we're not doing the Raw review. We're gonna do a SmackDown preview. And we're gonna cover these things. For first things first, we had a couple things we want to cover. They did a top 10 most Googled list. That's up here now. They did a top 10 who's the hottest males and female list. They did that as well. Both of that, I think they were all Bleacher Report. And then they also did, Sports Illustrated did a top 20 of all times. That's the one I want to dive into. With that being said, but I will say, if you're coming in, hit the like button, share the live, man. Let's get a few people in here. Again, for some reason, that one live we did 2-3 weeks ago, they decided that my channel was frowned upon because they are now stifling me down to the point where I'm literally not talking to anybody but myself. And I would love to just have a conversation with the family over and over again. So yes, please hit the like button, share it when you get in here. If anybody's in here, say hey to the people. Let's keep it clean. I'll try to keep my cursing to a minimum. Now, my stories sometimes may lean towards race, but never anything in a negative fashion. It'll be obvious, and then we'll move on. Also, last thing I'll say is that remember, we don't know these people. So when we have conversations about these people, we're talking about characters. This is no different than if we were watching a movie. That's how I look at it. I do not take these things serious. I always say, I know the person. I know The Rock. I'm talking about The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson. I don't know him. So, anyways, with that being said, guys, again, hit the like button, share the live, hit the subscribe button so we can get this thing rolling again. Okay? Because mind you, I think we can get this thing. I think we got a lot to talk about. Anyway, I'm gonna start it up, and this is how we're gonna do. We're gonna do the top 10 Googled first. Then we're gonna do the top 10 women. They got out right now. And then we're gonna do the top 10 men. And then we're going to do the top 20. And then we're going to finish out with SmackDown. How about that? How about we're going to do that? I think that's what we had on the list. And I got a couple other things maybe. We'll see. We'll see how many people come in. But anyway, let me start off real quick while people are trying to come in. I started with the Google list. Top 10 most Googled people. Let me see. Let me get these lists up here because I got top 10 most Googled. Where's she at? There you go. So I had to put it up here because these some little ass writing. Anyways. All right, so I get it. Brock Lesnar makes sense, especially recently. He's the top Googled person because he's talking about potential retirement, which I think is still all it works. I've been thinking that thing. I've been mulling it over. That's all it works. He'll be back. It's something big, but that's again must be nice to be Brock Lesnar. Must be nice to know that they disassociated with you for a few months, maybe a year or so, and then just said we're gonna ease you back in here, brother. Side note, boy, I wish I was on my other podcast. I want to talk so much trash about that Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. I mean, Skip Bayless thing and Stephen A., but it ain't for wrestling. Anyways, I move on. Roman Reigns makes the OTC is always probably Googled. He probably ain't got to wrestle and still get Googled a lot. The dude's just that dude. Can't hate on him. CM Punk, I get it. He's been holding the company down pretty much by himself for over a year until everybody caught up. So I get him as well. Paige makes sense. She just popped back up recently. A little stiff, but I expected a little ring rust. We'll get there. We'll give her grace. But that makes perfect sense too for the Google. Because when I saw it, I was like, oh, shit, there go Paige. Makes sense. Now, number 5 makes no sense to me. Let's just be honest, man. Randy, it's time, Randy. You look good, brother, but I don't think your heart's in it, and that's where it all falls flat for me. So being that it falls flat right there, I just go ahead and say, brother, it's time to move on, man. Move behind the scenes. Move into a more managerial role or something. That way you ain't gonna get your body beat up and we can care more. But Randy can't be number 5. I don't see that one. If it is, I'm shocked. Cody's is probably some dislike Googles of Cody. Oh, top 10 things Cody Rhodes do that we don't like. It'd be something like that. But let me stop. I just think the world that we live in today isn't built for a good blue chipper, nice guy. He's gonna finish his Brussels sprouts, and he's going to give you everything he had. I'm sorry. I'm glad that thing beeped because I've been meaning to put up the thing so you can. Oh, y'all can see it on YouTube. I'll make sure you can see it. But yeah, it's no space for that guy anymore. There's no space for the guy who does the hard work, Bruce Willis, and Die Hard. That it just doesn't. It's not the thing anymore. Now it's lie, cheat, and steal. That's the world we live in. So it's like people respect their boys. I just can't see Cody being there, but it is what it is. Oba, I'm shocked isn't higher. But we're going to get there because I got some things to say about this Obafemi experience, this open challenge. Again, I got to go deeper. Oh, I see the fix, people. Oh, we got to go there. That'll be my racial aspect of the episode, but we'll get there. Rhea makes sense. She's a girl. She's that dude for the ladies. That's what she is. Liv makes sense. She's a hell of an actress. I always say that. Number 10, you can make me believe it. Nope, can't make me believe it at all. That is Google trying to make sure he stays relevant. You can't tell me after all the mother wrestlers, you talking about Trick Williams with all that buzz that he got. Nope. Can't make me believe it. Can't make me believe it that he in front of him. Can't believe it. So, but that's what they want to tell us. So I know how they like to feed us that BS. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Let me make sure. Appreciate you guys being here. What's going on, everybody? Did you think the add McAfee and Jelly Roll because you said TKO didn't think Randy was... You know what? I don't think it had anything. Sorry about that, guys. Let me bring the chat over so I can see it. I don't think that he asked the question, do you think they brought those celebrities because Randy wasn't big enough? No, I don't think that. I think that for some odd reason, in the world that we live in today, they want to inundate us with a whole bunch of celebrities and people that they're pushing. Because, like, class example, I let them brought up Jelly Roll, and this is totally opposite. So this is not playing between me and the person in the chat. I saw this. They had this comedic cookout or something. A whole bunch of comics together. White, black, the blue, green doesn't matter. I saw Jay Letterman and Eddie Murphy, and I saw some other people. Just saw a bunch of people that you knew was all in this thing. And you know who else was there? Jelly Roll. This man is everywhere. And it's like, I see, like, I said this earlier on my other podcast. Nothing is by accident. Remember, people, they said 8 to 9 billion people in this world. So how do we see Jelly Roll on 10 different things? He's one person. Like, honestly, in all television, all that stuff that you see, you should never see a person have more than one gig. It doesn't make sense that you'll see one person play in this series and then this series and then this series and then this series and then they'll have 2 shows at one time. That doesn't make sense when there's so many different people and then there's so many different people trying to be in that business. Why? Because mind you, the more gigs you do, the more money you get to probably demand, especially if you part of the white tea people, and you get to demand it. So why would I do that when I could just find a person who can really act well, but they don't have a name for themselves because there's a million people trying to do it? That would make more sense. That's how I say I don't believe it. I think they like to have people that they control. What did you say? What is the we're doing with you? Yo, I'm so look. Who said that? Who said that? I can't see nothing. Hold on. That 9, I can't see the name, but 910. I'm so with you with Jada Parker. Look, first and foremost, these people, my daughter be hating on Jada Parker. Jada, I'm gonna get back to the show, guys, but he doesn't say my girl. Okay. Jada Parker is a star, in my opinion. Like I said, I get it. They say in ring she ain't great, but who in the wrestling for women is great? And ain't but like 2 or 3 of them, 4 of them at best is great. The rest of them are average at best. She should fit right in. She has personality for days, though. What message did you send me? You got to send me another message. I may get it. I may get it. I ain't been on the page, man. I told you they've been stifling the page. I ain't been on that much lately. I only get on really to go live. I really don't need to do much else other than that because they've been killing the page. Yeah, she's a star. I totally agree she's a star. When she do that little neck thing, when she be doing, I'm like, go ahead, girl. I'll be with you. So I'm with you. Hopefully I'll call up this year. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe. But anyway, let me get back to the show. I've been sitting here chit-chat with y'all. I'm here chit-chat with you. Look, let's go to the women's list next. Let's go to the women's list. Because let's get them out the way. Let's get the girls out the way. I'm picking. If any ladies in the room are going to come in the room, I'm just picking. I like women's wrestling too. I'm just picking. All right, let me go. Hold on. Let me go for myself because I can't see that little ass right there. All right, so let's go down this list. No, we're going to get to SmackDown in a little bit later. Share the live. Share the live. Put it out there. Let's see if we can get some people in here like we used to. They be hating on me, man. And I hate that too because, mind you, the live we had that day was so amazing. We was having a good time. Everybody has their own opinions. I don't care for people. I don't care if people have difference of opinions, the whole 9 for me. Hey, man, it's just a space for us to kick it and talk about it, you know? And then we can talk about without having corporate sponsors and stuff, because I do want to get into that. Matter of fact, let me talk about that real quick. Then I'm going to ask you, what do you say? What did you think of Roman's what? I'll talk about Roman in a second, but let me say this real quick about, what was I ready to bring up? Good Lord. Something I was ready to bring up. Shoot, you doop. It'll come back. Let me stay focused. I'm gonna stay out there talking with y'all. Let me focus on the task at hand, and then we'll get back. But Roman retiring, I can tell you like this: if they're trying to take them for, let me just say this about the Roman, since you said it. Shit. If Roman's going to be, if they talking about, yo, you need to take a 50% cut. If they talking about, if that's really real, they want everybody to take a 50% cut. Then of course people like Roman, especially if he's been doing well with his income, I'm not doing that because remember, he's Roman Reigns. You can take his name. But he can go somewhere else if he wants to. And they're going to pay him. Because believe me, Roman one of those guys, and this don't happen with everybody. But Roman's one of those dudes, he's hit such rare air that if he's at this point, he can literally go home, sit on the couch. It's going to ring eventually. Don't worry. It will. And he will be able to. And when the longer he sit, actually, the bigger the payout is going to cost to get him back. Just take Roman, if he stay in really good shape. Roman's what, 40, probably somewhere in that area. So just say he got a good couple of, especially if he can keep his health in order. Just say a good 5-6 years. Just say he won over the next 2 years. And you know Triple H, he gonna make it stale as ever. Man, when they say, yo, Roman, what is it gonna take to get you back in that ring? Roman can say, well, let's see. How much money did I lose over this much time plus interest? And then he can demand what he wants. That's really what he can do. Hopefully he's held on his money well like that. But anyways, I digress. Stop getting me sidetracked, okay? All right, y'all gonna get me sidetracked in the conversation. Can't keep messing with y'all. All right, so top 10 women's list. Rhea makes perfect sense. She's number 1 on the list. I understand it. Makes perfect sense. She's very, very popular. She's not my favorite, but again, I always tell people I can respect your craft and respect you as what you're doing, but without you being my favorite. Classic example. Back in the 80s, I was a Rock and Roll Express. My 2 favorite tags were Rock and Roll Express and the Road Warriors. Anybody else didn't care. Didn't care nothing about the Freebirds. Didn't care nothing about the Steiner Brothers. Didn't care nothing about the Midnight Express. Didn't care nothing about none of them. It was Rock and Roll Express and what's name. But I respected the T-Bird. I respected Midnight Express. I respected Demolition. I respected Shawn Michaels and the other guy. I'm picking Marty Jannetty. I'm just picking. I'm just picking. But I understand. Liv, I keep saying it. One thing I tell you, the women's division lack more than anything else is acting ability. You can argue with your mama, but Liv Morgan ain't one of them. Liv is an actress. That's an actress right there. When she gets into the screen, on the stage, it's theater. That's what she does. I understand why she's up there. She makes sense. Okay, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've got a problem with number 3. But this is just my personal issues. I should have found that video. She's horribly wrestling with Becky Lynch. But for who? Can someone answer this for me in the comment section? Not to get started, but someone answer this for me. Why is Becky Lynch so highly regards in the business so much? Why is she up there so high versus, say, a Charlotte Flair or some of these other people? Why is she? Because I don't get it. She doesn't act well to me. Her wrestling is subpar. She looks stiff. That's my personal conjecture. Argue with your mama. Okay? I'm just saying. But they keep putting her on these lists, and I don't understand it. And I'm really getting frustrated with it. But I get it right now. She has the title. So, of course, she's going to be on top of the list. So, I'm not hating on her, saying that she don't. I just don't get it. I don't. Tiffany, on the other hand, I think, to me, maybe and I'm not saying because I think Tiffany's attractive. This is nothing about it. Tiffany look nice. I just said for me, I said this last week, and I'll continue to say it. They're messing with the title structure. You cannot be at the top of the food chain holding the biggest belt in your division, in the biggest company in the world. And then, as soon as you come back, you get one of the lowest belts in there. That's like going from the heavyweight championship belt of the world in boxing, and then you come back down, you the featherweight. I know they go off weight, but you get my point. Yeah, I thought that was funny too about the other guy. I'm just picking. But I just, that's how I look at it. And I don't like that about that. And that's the only thing I complain about Tiffany, but I know she can't complain about that. You got to hold a title and keep your name out there. I get it. So this ain't no knocking her. I just disagree with that. Who else next? Io Scott, get it? I always say pound for pound. Io's the best wrestler they have on the roster, so that makes sense to me. Like, so far as moveset, the whole 9, she's the most believable moveset on the roster. Now, is she great at selling other people's hits? I don't remember. Rhea's A++ at that. Rhea will put you and make you look good. Rhea, I always say Rhea's the Dolph Ziggler of women. She will sell a move in a minute. I gotta give her props. But Io's great at the offense. That's what I would say. Asuka, you can show her age is starting to show, but she's solid. She's solid. Get it while she in there. Now, it's hard to put them back to back in the list in my list because, like I said, it's a cultural difference, and I don't understand when they're not. Look. Problem with cultural differences is it the culture most of the time. It is context gets lost because it's a language barrier. So like when Asuka or Io is trying to convey a certain feeling to us in English and they have such broken English, I can't absorb it because it is such broken. So I can only imagine if I'm going to speak Mandarin and I'm trying to convey, I'm ready to get over there and put my hands on you, brother. Now, if I can't speak the language well, that's not going to convey well. Now, I would pretend to be speaking Mandarin, but that would be probably deemed offensive and I'm online, so I'm not going to do that. I don't mean anything by it, I promise. What do you say? Probably because the run she had at the man back. Look, I get the man. I get it. Charlotte Flair had a run. Charlotte is regarded. I get it. I'm just saying, Trish Stratus, I get it. But see, she's eclipsed Trish. She's eclipsed Lita. She's eclipsed Charlotte. She's eclipsed all of them. And I'm going to show you later what I mean. And I just don't get it. I don't really care for it. She's bothering. I'm talking about Becky Lynch, y'all. For y'all don't know. Anyway, keep moving on. This JC chick right here. I don't know nothing about it. So I can't complain. I don't know. I honestly don't know nothing about the lady. I don't even know if I said her name right. So I don't know anything about it. Roxanne Perez, okay. Is that Big Perez? Is we talking about? Yes. Big Perez has grown on me. I call her Big Perez, Roxanne Perez. I call Big Perez. Because she was just big for nothing and she didn't do nothing before. And that's who all we talking about, right? I think we talking about that. We talking about the New Day member one, right? Ain't that her name? Big Perez? I think that's what I'm thinking. I think that's her, the big one. But she's grown on me, and she did it in one match. Let me see. What do you say about Asuka? Asuka is like at this point older and slower. Oh yeah. I don't buy her the thread either. And honestly, I said this about Asuka and Io I said this last week, and I didn't want to keep harping on it. But it ain't just them. It's period. Look, wrestling's already still enough with your storylines. As you keep regurgitating the same arguments or the same beefs over and over again. We're cool this year. Okay, next year you guys going to be nemesis. Okay, the next year there we're going to be besties again. Sometimes it's just good to get them separate away from each other so they don't wrestle each other versus keep doing it. Because I'm not invested. Like, I can invest more into Becky and them right now because they seem like Liv and Stephanie Victoria because they have more energy about them. I can't get into the energy because it's the same thing if you pull out Bayley and Bayley wrestles Asuka again. I'm like, okay. All right, because anyone's seen it all. Even though y'all have Bayley props, y'all ain't nobody saying about Bayley dropping all that weight. Bayley's gotten a lot smaller. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, Stephanie Victoria makes sense. She's very popular. I think she looks nice in her uniform, so I get it. Jade, okay. She's an enigma to me. I get it. I feel so sorry for her. I do. Because you mother always over critique that woman to the no ends. And the bad thing about it, I don't know if it's messing with her confidence, but I can only imagine. All right, let me say this. And I'm going to make a basketball analogy. Nick Anderson, the Orlando Magic. Anybody here is in my age group or older knows about him when he played Orlando Magic. They were playing the Houston Rockets Game 1 NBA Finals. Nick Anderson misses, 4 straight free throws. He, in the documentary I watched recently, said he never mentally recovered from those 4 missed free throws because he stepped in line and hit him a million times. But when that pressure was on, he crumbled. And I can only imagine when people are constantly looking at your moveset, every word that you say, did you convey this well? At the end of the day, when you're in the ring, you probably started to count your steps. Okay, all right, don't fuck this up. Don't drop this. Don't do that. And I feel bad for her. Now, always she's going to be in my top 10 regardless, but she's going to be up here regardless of just the way she looks. But I just hate that she's not up here for more, obvious reasons. But anyways, I digress. That's just me. Hate it or love it. You ain't got to agree with me, my list. We're moving on. Let's move it on. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Putting stuff on the list don't need to be up there. Sorry about that. Give me a second. Doing stuff ain't got no business doing. Hold on. Hitting buttons. There you go. There we go. We backs. All right, let me move this off the screen real quick. Give me 2 seconds. If I can find it. There we go. Hold on. I got to move it so I can see it. All right, so we've done the Google. Let's get that out of there too, so I won't go back to it. Guys, let me do this. Let me put the Google. Now we're going to do the Bleacher Report's top 10 male superstars. Let me put that up here for you guys. I want to put that up here for you guys. Is this Bleacher Report's top 10 male superstars? Is it right here? Yeah, this is it right here. Yeah, let me put this up here for you guys so you can see it on TikTok. YouTube can see it. Let me go to YouTube. Let me get you set up YouTube. Hold on 1 second, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Let me find the top 10 Googled. Who's on this? Roman Reigns. Where are you at, Roman? I know you're in here somewhere. Give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to find it. There you go. All right. Trying to get up there so YouTube can see it. All right. So here you go. Here's the top 10 list, everybody. So on this list, Roman Reigns makes perfect sense. Everybody would have said it has to be. It has to be the top 10 male superstar. Cody makes sense at number 2 because he's the champion. Even though I think he's what I call the John Cena or whatever they're gonna name this era in a few years. I'm not saying that he hasn't put in the work, just like John Cena put in the work. You're not saying that he didn't hustle, loyal, respect, just like John did it. John was a company man. Cody's a company man. Cody does things that's best for the company. John did things that was best for the company. But I think at the end of the day, it's not going to translate over into being something to where we are saying, oh man, Cody Rhodes is my top guy, man. All times, man. And it's not because he does anything not well. He does everything pretty much well. It doesn't translate to me. It's just my opinion. But anyways, I digress. He's 2 on the list for these people. Fatu, you know what? Maybe I'm ready to say something that's unpopular at this point, but I was way higher on Fatu about 2 years ago than I am right now. When he first got there, he was hot. It's fish grease there. Everything he did just worked. Now it feels like the people in the what they call it, the bull pit or the bull room or whatever that room is. It feel like people don't got their hands on him too much. I feel less of him and more of TKO WWE. But I'm still rooting for him. I do like the little throat thing, even though because Roman sold that thing the other day. I was like, man, somebody check Roman, make sure he breathing. Because he had it all up in there. So, I mean, hopefully, and it's looking like if Roman them can't get this thing together, and one or two things is happening with Roman right now. People like myself are complaining that these storylines are so scripted, so easily predictable that it's not worth watching. It could be, okay, we don't ever want Roman to drop this to Fatu, but how do we get people to want to watch this if they all know that Fatu has no chance? Well, we have to make something. We have to go the other way. We don't want to give it to Fatu, but we do want to give it we want to get people in the seat. So what do? We sell this story that Roman's and the company are at odds. That would be enough, because now we all in the same. Is Roman gonna drop it at Backlash? We all curious about it now. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know if they will or won't, but we'll see what happens. But if he does, hopefully Fatu can hold it down. Hopefully they don't make him a transitional champ. I always say that. People argue with me. Everybody was transitional champs before. No, I don't mean transitional champ and you holding the belt for 30 days, 60 days are not always equivalent to each other. There are times where you may have held the belt for 60 days, but that was a real title run based upon wherever the storyline went. When I mean transitional champ means this. Damian Priest getting the belt. You know, soon as he wrestles anyway, I think was it Punk that took it off of him? If it was Punk, if I remember, you knew it was coming. There was no chance in hell he was going to keep that. That's what I mean when I say transitional champ. When you know the person holding the belt, Kofi Kingston, I knew was going to be a transitional champ. It's not because I'm picking him as that. You just can tell when it's coming. I just don't want that for Fatu. Anyway, moving on. Ain't no way Penta is number 4 on the list. Now, I'm not knocking Penta. You said Gunther took it off Dame. Makes sense. I knew it when Gunther wrestled. I mean, it was either Gunther or Punk. I knew it was either one of them was going to happen. Seth, Gunther, Punk, any of them wrestlers, Damian has no chance in hell. Penta I like. This is not knocking Penta, so I'm not talking about Penta myself. I'm not saying Penta I dislike. I don't dislike Penta. I think Penta's very entertaining. I think Penta's a hell of a wrestler, and I love the walk. I always say if you're going to have a mask on, you better have something that you can say out your mouth or some mannerism or something that's going to make people watch. And so I think he's probably the most entertaining of the luchadors that I've ever seen. So this is not knocking him. I just can't see him in number 4 on the list with all the wrestlers. No, sir. Ain't nobody said, man, I got to hurry him get home and watch Raw. I don't want to miss Penta's match. Nobody says that. So you can't make me believe that. Trick, I think, should be where Penta at. Because Trick is popular. Or Oba. Oba or Trick. Either one of them seem to me. You can go big. Right now, the way they're plugging them to him, I'm going to get into Oba because I got to talk about Oba. We got to bring Oba up. I'm going to talk about Oba right before we get into the Probably SmackDown. But Oba and Trick, either or, I have no problem with it. They make the list make sense. Braun Breaker makes sense to me because I see the dude's very passionate. The dude's very intense. People have a problem with Braun, and I don't understand it. I think you would think, especially he has all the intangibles to look like, for me, like I said, I have no hating on him based on race because if you're good, you're good. White, black, blue, green, I don't care. Braun has that look. Breaker, intense. Bravo to him and Speed because ever since that moment on, I've just been Breaker, been killing it. I like the dude. Ethan Page and Finn Balor. You can take them both off my list and get rid of them. Get rid of them. And that's me. I know how y'all feel. Y'all love, especially Balor. Y'all love Balor. Why? Somebody tell me if in there. Why did somebody tell me why is Ethan Page so popular? I don't know why he popular. You say yeah, Kofi definitely was a trend. Yeah, he was. He was. Braun needs way. Everybody says Braun needs to get better on the mic. No, he don't. He with Paul Heyman. Let Paul Heyman fucking talk for him. That's what he there for. He don't have to. Brock Lesnar didn't have to. He don't need to get no better. All he needs to do is keep that intensity. When he yelling at you, that's all the talking he need to do. He do that well. I agree with you. He don't cut promos. But when he want to get the microphone, get in your ear and tell me, I'm going to keep breaking your back. He does that well. They don't need to. Ethan Page got that dog in him. You say he got that dog in him. And he's funny. Okay, I'll tell you what. Since you said that, I don't even know who said that. But since you said that, because I always tell people, I try not to prejudge people off of their initial look, because especially if you pay attention, because you end up getting shocked later. So I pay attention if you say he's supposed to have humor, and yeah, I'll look at him. I'll see what he's saying. I'll tell you what I think. I'll probably look at him this weekend. You said keep the Usos off the mic. No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Look, let's talk about the Usos on the mic. Are you talking about that scene from Raw when they were going into Roman's locker room? And it's not Jimmy, okay? It's Jay, okay? Okay, somebody said it's just Jay, LOL, LOL. So I agree with it. It's just Jay, it's not Jimmy. Jimmy gives you the appropriate amount of anger when he needs to be angry. If he needs to be like supportive, he gives you the proper amount of supportive. Like, people don't understand this in acting. I've done a little bit of acting in my day. Acting is this. This is what people don't understand about acting. And like horrible movies, you can tell when somebody don't have a real director in a movie because they don't understand this. Not everything has to be verbally said. Like, you don't need to say, if you need someone to understand that you're angry in the bathroom while you're brushing your teeth, you shouldn't go in the bathroom and say, God, I'm so angry while I'm brushing my teeth. And you'll see movies like this. You're like, no, this is the time you're supposed to let the emotion show. So what I would say to people, this is how it was trained to me when it came to acting, and told to me when it came to acting. Don't have to say it. Just go try to feel that emotion. What would you feel like if you're angry at this moment? How do you normally respond when you're angry? He says, and if you can tap into what you normally would feel like when you're angry, don't worry about what you say. Don't worry about making your eyes and your lips do something. The camera will pick up the emotion you're trying to convey. And I think most people don't understand that. And so, like you said, I don't even know why I'm talking about that. What are we talking about? Because I got so sidetracked. Why are we talking about that? We're talking about Jay. So yeah, so with Jay, I think it's like, and this is separate because I still think they didn't do right by him. You put him in position to be champ and y'all didn't do right by him. You highlight his attributes and you minimize his deficiencies. You don't let that man go out there and crash out and be on that microphone like that much as they have him on there. Jay is too intense. He come in hot. I'm gonna read your comments in a second. But Jay come in hot as hell every time. And he be like, whoa, calm down. Be appropriate when it comes to it. You know, so it comes off a little disingenuous, like you're trying too hard. So I totally agree with you. What'd you say? Jimmy can cut better. Yeah, he does. He does cut. Look, before Jay became main event, Jay Uso and Jay won his run. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm a defender of Jay Uso. So if you listen to me, you got all on my channel. I got every time I go on there and look at the thumbnail. If you see Jay Uso, that's a defense of Jay Uso because they did him dirty. Now, with that being said, Jimmy was your star. Jimmy had the personality. He could be funny. He can be humorous. He could be intense when he needed to. First and foremost, and I didn't think the intensity was there, but y'all remember the night Sammy turned on the Usos, and so the Usos and when the bloodline and they took them down. That was all Jimmy. Jimmy with the kicks. Oh, it was amazing. I loved it. It was beautiful. It was amazing. Jimmy Uso should be a star. Now, Jimmy didn't want to eat, and then I know they said Jimmy was drinking and stuff. I know they said that one time. I don't know. Allegedly, I heard. Right, I agree. They did it. Allegedly, yeah. Don't even get me started. I could talk about what they did to Jey Uso over and over and over again, but and I say it so much now, I get tired of talking about it. It's like, man, I've said it so many times. Like, you'll be the first time hearing it, but I have my own defense of. Go on, watch it on the channel. There's a whole bunch of videos with Jay. But I do agree, Jay need to calm down. But I do think Jimmy could have been a star. Jimmy didn't want to work out, and now they just got him as a jobber. So I don't take him serious. And that's not. And I always tell people again, I don't be mad at the wrestler. I be mad at the storyline. I don't blame Jay for not being main event Jay Uso or crash out Jay Uso. I blame the storylines. I blame you didn't put him in position. Now, if you put him in position, I've seen the times you've seen him put in position. Class example, Roman, big dog, was put in position to be a star. Was he not? He was. And at every turn, we said, nah, I don't like this nigga. Until he figured it out. So you can pick him all day long, but until we pick him, we don't care. And so that's the thing. Like I say, you could try. It just doesn't work for me. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, they did Jay dirty as ever, though. That's what they did. You said intangible. You said, yes, the intangible shows. Yeah, I agree. Anyway, and then Seth Rollins, of course. Seth Rollins is another one they will refuse to let get stale. Seth Rollins is the person, no matter what, they're going to say, Seth, you're getting stale. Let's get in there and let's figure out where you need to go next. But then you have another guy back there just working hard, hitting the ropes, as they say. Go out there and hit the ropes and do what the company needs and eventually get your shot. He'll be like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Go ask Apollo Crews. And so he'll, nah, can't get on this air, buddy. Got to get him out of here. Anyway, let me move on. All right, so let's do the top 20 list, and then we'll get into SmackDown. We'll close out with SmackDown. Okay, so let me find the top 20 list for YouTube. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Top 20 YouTube. Here we go. It's up there for you. Yes, it is, people. So for you guys, let me get it for you people on YouTube. On TikTok too. Give me a second, because I want to put this up here. All right, give me a second. Hold on. This mouse starts acting right. Because we needed to talk about it. All right, where you go? There you go. Boom. There you go. Top 20 list right there. All right, people. I have a problem with this list. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I got a problem with it. Hold on, let me get this out of my face. Matter of fact, too much. So sorry, hold on one second. Come on, get on this thing. There you go. I have a problem with this list. I want to make it big enough so you guys can see it too. I want to make sure you can see it too. Do it this way so you guys see the top. This is the top 20 list they got for some reason. I'm gonna make it so you guys can see it. Hopefully you can see it now. Anyway, on this list. I'm gonna start at the bottom and work my way up, and we're gonna roll through this quickly. I'm not gonna hold you guys. I'm not gonna hold you up, but I am gonna say this: what in the world are you gonna tell me after all these people that Becky Lynch keeps making this list? This is my issue. Remember I said earlier I was gonna bring it up later. What in the world? Yes, if you're gonna pick a woman, I would have much rather had Trish Stratus. I would have much rather had Lita. Becky Lynch, no, I would have much rather had Charlotte Flair. If you're gonna have Becky Lynch, I'm sorry. What's her name? Sasha Banks is better. I was really called the Monet girl. I was trying to think of her real name, but I don't know. Sasha Banks to me was better. China. Look. We have to remember with wrestling. Also, I should apologize because I just skipped over China. Like China shouldn't have been number 1 on the list. If you're going to take top 20 list and you're going to put a woman on here, yes, China should be the one, should be on this list. She changed the game. She switched it up. I disagree with you about Becky with Seth. I don't care for Seth Rollins either, but that's just me personally. That's just my personal list. But if he's on the list, I ain't going to sit and disrespect it like the man ain't put in work. But this Becky Lynch thing, I don't know who in the world done plugged her. This makes no sense to me. Someone please make sense of this. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yes, hit it. Share it live. Hit the subscribe button. Help a brother out. Anyways, let's keep going. Mick Foley makes sense. Understand it. Makes the list. Mick, I'm very proud of him. Hard work pays off. He became a legend due to his hard work. He's one of the exceptions to the rule. Most of the time, hard work does not pay off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not with a Seth fan. But yes, I'm telling you, I have no problem with Mick Foley being there. I appreciate what he's done. Chris Jericho, hey, Jericho, you can't get mad at him. The man is one of the microphone legends. He's on the list. Makes sense. We can argue till we're blue in the face, the order, of course. And I don't want to keep you guys here all day. So I'm not going to try to argue the position, but I will tell you when I don't think somebody belongs on the list. Because to be honest with you, this is not my top 20 list. Probably half of these people wouldn't even make the list, in my opinion. I'll be honest with you. So let's say this. So you got, there we down to Chris Jericho. CM Punk, like I said, Punk is not my era. I walked away from wrestling when Punk was at his height. So, but I get why. So you would understand why he don't make my list. But to you guys who watched him wrestle, he may be legendary. So I don't argue with it. Just because I didn't put my eyes on him, I can't discredit him. So that I wouldn't say no. Andre the Giant, understand it. He was a pioneer, revolutionary. He did something at the time nobody else was doing. So I understand why he's on the list. But you all noticing something about him though, don't you? You can tell that the man literally, his name was way more legendary than he probably was as a performer. I'm gonna tell you how I know it. Because as the years roll by, his name further falls down the list. Remember, most of them older wrestlers, Andre the Giant's number one. Andre's in my top 5. Andre to keep sliding down the list. Y2J needs to be. Oh yeah. Hey, I have no problem with Y2 being on that list. Jericho could be on the list. I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't got no. You like it, I love it. Randy, again, y'all built him up properly. Randy's another one of those guys I pick at about John Cena. They were picked. When you become the legend killer early in your career, you were picked. You were hand selected to be somebody special. Being that he did that, I have no issues with it because he was nepotism. They brought him into the position, but he did his job. And I do agree the Big Show was better than Andre the Giant. Much better. If you want to put, and Show if Show don't make the list, and I don't think he's up here. If Show ain't on the list, I Show will take Andre out and put Show in his spot. Show was better. Had way more highlighted moments, did more, the whole 9. Totally agree. But Randy did his job. Randy was positioned to do well, and he did it. He did his job. He has highlights. He has moments. He has done things. Randy did what he was supposed to. Again, it ain't so much the nepotism I have a problem with. It's the nepotism the problem you have when you don't give other people a shot at all. That's one problem. And then the other one, too many nepotism and the people were horrible. So he wasn't horrible. So Edge is a part of that journey. Edge is you remember when you were in high school and you were in your senior year? And if you was anything like me, you was that dude. I wasn't that dude. I'm just joking. But you remember you were in high school and you had the little guy that was like a freshman nerd. Nobody paid any attention to. You step away for a few years and you have to go back to high school for whatever reason. You could be sophomore, junior in college, but you have to go back to your high school. And that same nerd is a senior now, and he's that dude. And you say, what in the world? How he become that dude? He was a nerd when we was here. That was Edge to me. Edge was the acolytes, and underneath those guys, him and Chris were just do-boys when I was watching wrestling. And then I took that break, and when I came back, this is right around the time he broke his, he was out because of his injury. I think it was his neck. And so I didn't ever get to see Edge at his height. But again, if he was running that thing at that time, you like it, I love it, I'll go with it. I'm not going to argue with it. I think Roddy Piper is like glorified and overhyped, in my opinion. Speaking of, man, Chris, are you in my head? I would have said, hell, I'd have took Diamond Dallas Page. I swear I was ready to say that over Roddy Piper. That diamond cutter at one point, I was with it. I was with that thing. So I would take Piper, would definitely not make my list. Kurt Angle, you can't disrespect. And then too, once you hear how fast Kurt Angle picked up on the sport. I mean, he picked up on that thing quickly. It's like he got in it, he took off, and just did it to the highest clip. Kurt Angle, he sacrificed for the business the whole 9. Kurt Angle's name, more than I'm ready to tell you, in 20 years, 20, 25 years, when things move on, this world ain't going crazy by then. 20, 25 years of wrestling still the thing, his name will be mentioned more than John Cena's. Mark my words. But because he had more of an imprint to me, and I think he did it organically and without that push. To be honest with you, Vince messed up by letting him go. He lost all those prime years he should have been in the WWE. But anyway, Randy Savage, legendary just by his namesake alone. Whenever you're known outside of the business, you are that dude. So I can't disrespect Randy. I'm gonna be honest, Bruno San Martino, before my era, I was a little bitty boy when he was around. So this is way before me. So okay, you like it, I love it. I don't know nothing about it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with it. Yeah, his prime, Kurt Angle's prime wasn't in TNA. I wish it was at WWE. Y'all hate on Bret Hart. Bret Hart number 9. People hate on Bret Hart. Oh, he couldn't talk on the microphone. He wasn't good. Look, he wasn't a mic guy. But when I tell you, there's only 3 guys that when I watch wrestle, they wrestle. And there's probably more, but 3 just come to my mind instantly right now. 1, we just talked about Kurt Angle. Now that's a wrestler. He would get on the floor and wrestle with you. Bret Hart is one, the other one, and Chris Benoit was the other one. It's just with them guys, when it was time to wrestle, let's just get down here and wrestle. And Bret Hart was just that dude. He could get on the mat. It was like he should have been called the cerebral assassin because he literally would just break you down. And it would be all submission-based, holds, things like that. He was just good at what he did. Somebody took it. I said, Chris Benoit, that man could do it. That man was a wrestler. So Bret, I have no issues with. Shawn Michaels, I have no issues with at all. Shawn Michaels was my favorite wrestler up until the Attitude Era, so I have no issues with him. I have an issue with the fact of why the hell is Shawn Michaels behind Triple H? Who does Triple H contact to put this list? Triple H don't even belong on this list, let alone at number freaking 7. Greatest wrestler? What? Look, let's recap. Becky Lynch don't deserve to be on here. We all gonna agree. Andre Giant is very selective, but I think people will lean my way. Who else did we say? I'd say, me personally, I said Roddy Piper. You can take Bruno, I don't care. But I get it, he won the belt all the time, so I'm not gonna disrespect it. But Triple H is the other. He don't deserve to be up here at all. Not at all. I always, even back in the day, I said Triple H is the dude who wrestled the dude. But he ain't that dude. Even though he held the belt over and over and over again, but you with the boss's daughter, we know why you got it. Anyway, so you get that. No, I have a problem with that. Taker, nobody has a problem with. My only problem for Taker, I think he should be higher on the list. It's just my personal opinion. I think Undertaker should be top 5. Roman Reigns, no problem on the list either. John Cena, I think is a plant, but I get him. They pushed him. He did his job. He just wasn't my favorite. But I get him. I wouldn't put him in my top 5. He wouldn't be in my top 10, but he's there. I'm not going to fight him. Rock actually should be in front of Hogan, in my opinion. Culturally impacting, I think they equal in that department. People, honestly, they have to. Because Hogan was the man of the late 80s, early 90s. The Rock actually had a longer reign as that dude culturally. So he actually could have an argument the Rock is bigger. I think the Rock was more entertaining and as a overall better wrestler. So how the hell is Hogan in front of him? Nope. Sorry, can't do it. And Stone Cold I had no issue with. Mine would be Stone Cold. Rock will interchange back and forth. It don't matter. But those two right there, no issues with it. The list just to me, the most egregious on the list is the number 20. Y'all snuck Becky Lynch in, and I don't understand it. We don't discount so many people. So much talent, amazing people that was out there that this girl jumped in front of. Because I'm going to go give you one I always bring up. Booker T ain't on this list, but this woman's on this list. That woman can't hold a candle to no Booker T. Rey Mysterio, hey, he was legendary in his position. He should make the list. I'm so sick and tired of these people doing what they want to do. Hit the like button. Anyway, let's move on, people. Let's move on. Let's get this done. We almost over with. I don't keep holding. I know you want to be all day, but I can't. I can't stay with you all day. All right, so next up, I got a couple of small points before we get to the SmackDown thing. Let me try to breeze through them because I went longer than I expected to. So let me see. What did I have? I had those top 10 lists. Boom, boom, boom. What is this? Hold on. Quick thing. What the hell is LA Knight? Where he go? They just never going to get this man his shot, is it? I see that he's just never going to get his due. And I hate that for him because he deserves so much better than what they're giving him right now. And mind you, I'm not even an LA Knight fan. This is from a person who 2-3 years ago said, my daughter was like, you a hater of LA Knight. I don't like to do. He has, mind you, Jay botch all the time, so do he, but they kind of talk about him. They don't never talk about him like that. Anyway, was one other thing. Hold on. Oh, let me say this thing about Oba before we get to the thing. Y'all are so messing this thing up, and that's why I say it's got to be on purpose. You do know, taking this man, making him be in the ring for 15 seconds, and then leaving with no interaction with nobody really, no real reason to be there. The people are going to move on. This is not what Goldberg did. Goldberg was hyped up to do this. This is not the same thing. It's different. They're going to ruin him. I wouldn't put Mark Henry on the list, though. That's just me. He wouldn't have made my list. But this whole thing with Oba, this invitation tells me they don't want to do nothing with him. You notice that you notice that Seth Rollins always has somebody. Seth Rollins is never flaring with no big name to go against. How do you go from CM Punk? Then you had Braun Breaker. You had Gunther. They're always going to give you whoever you can see is unpopular. Seth Rollins is going to be right there in the mix. This doesn't make sense to take Oba Femi. If y'all keep talking about how he is that dude, he's the next big thing, then why in the world ain't he there? It don't make no sense. Unless you don't want him to really be a star. And I think they're trying to okie doke us and it's like, man, we tried it. People just didn't like him. No, y'all didn't want him there. That's what it sounded to me. Side note, breaking news. I don't know if you guys probably can see it on YouTube. There's rumored wasn't it gonna pop up soon. Shane McMahon. And if I'm correct, in Vince watch, like I always say, I said Vince McMahon still owns this company. And if Shane pops back up, you cannot make me believe that this man does not still own this company. Because the reason why I say it is because of this. You don't have, let me use my words carefully, allegations. Let's say that. You know what I'm saying? You don't get those to the point they force you to sell your business, but your children and your children adjacent gets to be sprinkled all over the same company you was forced to sell, unless you still own it. And see, what I'm tired of people doing is treating us like we stupid and don't understand that Vince McMahon is all up and throughout this company. This is this man's company. This TKO that we all talk trash about every day, that they keep doing egregious behavior after egregious behavior, is on purpose. It is so we can say that Vince McMahon needs this company back because he's the only one that can do it right. If you don't believe me, give it a year. You'll be back here saying, man, that was correct. And the only reason why I'm making this statement is because that's how business works. You don't tell billionaires because of some woman that in his mind he thinks ain't worth nothing, is going to take his business from him. That is for the common folk. That's not for him. That's not how he do it. So I don't understand why people are sitting back thinking this is what it's going to be. This is not what it's going to be. This is not how it's going to play out. Your son-in-law did not get to keep running the company. If it was true, the first thing TKO would have did when they got there would have said, Triple H, you're bad for business, brother. We got to get away from the whole Vince and McMahon thing. And I'm sorry. So unfortunately, even though you're not a McMahon, you're married to one. I can't do it. We can't. It just doesn't look right. No. They said, no, let's start a whole podcast network and make the wife and the daughter of the man who did it, make her the number one person. No. Why are y'all being naive? Don't be naive. What did somebody say? WWE is going to what? Hold on, my contact the fuzz. It's going to, what is that? WWE is going to, not WWE is going to end up being. Look, if it's real, let's talk in the context. You basically said they're going to be in WCW. Let's talk in the context of you. Just to say everything I said ain't real, ain't going to happen, ain't nothing. We just going to play dumb and we're going to say this is what's happening. These people just incompetent. And the reason why I know they're not incompetent, because you don't get to be able to rob, steal, and take that much amount of money to the point y'all billionaires if you don't know what you're doing to make it grow. These people doing everything in their power to be counterproductive, and then asking the talent itself that has rivals that's right next door that's willing to suck up all their talent if they do it. They're ready to let it go. You're not going to let it walk out the door because you're trying to make them take a 50% pay cut unless you got something big at play. And the reason why a lot of people ain't going to leave, the people who may even take pay cuts, is because they have backdoor handshake deals and saying, look, this is just short term. We're ready to implement it. Let's keep it going. But anyway, I'm stay to you. If you're right, if it ain't, it's going to be WCW soon. They're going to be selling to somebody. I heard about Ted Turner recently just passed. So, but yes, it's going to end up being that. It ain't no other way it can end up. It's like anything else. Like, class example, outside of this, I'll say this and I'll move on. Like these data centers. All these data centers that they're putting all over the country in these small towns that's sucking up all the water. Y'all have heard about these things, right? Those things. Now, if it's sucking up to the water to where water systems are drying up, can you sustain data centers in this country? No. So obviously, either they're trying to run it in the ground or they have something different at play. And if you are running in the ground like WCW did, boy, it's greed. Greed is a powerful drug, ain't it? But anyway, I digress. What are y'all hearing about the New Day? I keep hearing that they signed with AEW, then I heard they signed back with the WWE, and then I heard that Bobby Lashley wanted to put them in the Hurt business, which I would have done. I thought that would have been a good look. That would have been dope if they just showed up on the Hurt Syndicate. Boom, that would have been cool. Man, especially if it got really, really popular. So they are going to AEW. So that's the last you heard. Okay. Because I keep seeing conflicting reports. One person will report one, somebody reports something different. So you say, yeah, they're going. They go over there, man. Get with the Hurt Syndicate. Man, get over there and make it all racial. That's what I would do. Man, it would be buzzing all over the place. AEW. If you got any of your spies or anything in the room listening, I know you don't. But if you did, I would advise you to do something explosive, like get the New Day, make them a part of the Hurt Syndicate and make it racial. Not too much. Keep it light. You don't have to be heavy. But make it where it almost upset people to the point where it becomes news. AEW's going to put WCW on their heels. Do it. But they ain't going to do it. They're not going to do it. Anyways, what else was I gonna say to that? Shane, I know I had that up there. That. All right, let's go and dive into it. Because I think I covered everything. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. So let's go ahead and dive into tonight's episode. Let me see if I can get it pulled up for you guys real quick on YouTube. 1 second, guys, while I get it pulled up for YouTubers. I want to get it up there for those guys. Not there. Yeah, we can do it right there. Let's put it up here for you guys. I want to put this up here so you guys can see what I see and what TikTok is saying. So what we got is we got tonight's so-called card. Now, these things I know are subject to change at any moment. I've seen them change multiple times. So hopefully they don't change the bonus again. But that's that. And hold on 1 second. TikTok. Let me put it up here. Give me 2 seconds. Boom. And bing bop. Bang. There we go. And then I'm sorry for you guys over on the Wrestle on YouTube. You're just going to have to do it by yourself. The 300 radio one has it, but you'll have to watch it on the playback. Hold on a second, guys. Let me get this big ass picture out of the way. Good Lord, this thing is massive. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. That's how we always do it. Let's start it from there. Come on, thing. Now my mouse want to go out. I mean my keyboard. Good Lord. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna see it up here. Let me put it up here for myself because I can't even see this stupid thing. Hold on. Can't see it at all. All right. I gotta make it big enough for myself to see it. Hold on. Come on, thing. All right, so that's just gonna be stupid today. All right, so let's start at the bottom. So as you can see again, there's gonna be a bunch of segments. So we have who is that? Jacob down here does a segment. So Jacob's going to let's predict tonight's show. Jacob comes out. He may have a run-in with the Usos or somebody. They're gonna get into it. And Backlash this weekend, so that means there's gonna be some. Always pay attention to the show right before the show. If Backlash, I think it is this weekend. If it does happen, whoever gets over on who tonight between Jacob and Roman, if Roman does show up, then that's going to be who's going to lose on the pay-per-view. So, but if they don't show up at all, and it's the Usos in place of Roman, if Fatu gets over on the Usos, then Fatu will lose on pay-per-view. If he doesn't, if the Usos get over on him, he may just do it. All right, who is these other ladies here? Good Lord, doing too much. Who is these other ladies right here? Right here. Who are these? I can't see it. It's so small. All right, so that's Tiffany, and who is that with her? I can't see who the other girl is. That should tell you something. So Tiffany, whoever Tiffany beefing with, is gonna be up here tomorrow night. I don't know who it is. A lot of the time with the women wrestlers, they bring in. This is how they do it. They always have the it girls. You know the same ones, the regulars, the Becky Lynches, the Liv, the Alexa Blisses, and then they'll have every so often they'll sneak in those new girls, the Chelsea Greens and the Soul Rukas, and this girl must be one of the ones they sneaking in. Hopefully she sticks. I can't say much about it because I don't know what the match is gonna be like. So then they got Brie and Paige with the segment. So which means is we gonna figure out who they gonna be wrestling. Do we know who they wrestling at the pay per view? Because they probably gonna setting up for who they gonna wrestle at the pay per view. And you know how Triple H likes to do. He likes to wait till the last minute. So it'll be some people. It'll probably be Lash and I'll come out tonight and say, "You know what? I'll challenge you, bitch, to a match tomorrow." And then they'll go out and wrestle, and then nobody will care. See how that goes? From the New Day. You said I think they're gonna have to. Well, they're gonna force them to change the name from New Day because I know the WWE. I don't even have to check. I know they own that. You know the WWE own that. That SmackDown with that cursed dude, which I say this every week. Who is this dude? Whose cousin, child, nephew is this little dude keep cursing everybody? They tell me he's entertaining. I don't see it. It don't work for me. It don't move me in any direction whatsoever. So please, okay, maybe it's just me, but I can't get energy. This is my show. I ain't gonna get no energy to it. All right. Oh no, there go the women's thing. So here you go with the women. So what's that? So it says 6 women's tag fatal. What's it say? So that's Rhea and who is that? Alexa, Rhea, and somebody else versus Fatal Influence. Okay. All right. So again, you don't have nothing for the girls. Look. The women, just like the men, I promise you, they want great stories too. They want to hear storylines that's going to evolve their characters. They want to be able to do other things with their characters. They want it. I promise you. WWE, I know you want to just throw them out there every week and say, hey, put some sexy on and it's going to be, I get it. But It don't fly no more. Y'all try to build them up as being superstars. You got to make them superstars now. You feel me? But that's just me. Royce, I see what they do with him. Here, again, let me speak the trend. Let's just speak the trend. Okay, hold on. This stupid mouse. I got to get a new mouse. I think my battery's down. Let's look at the trend. Javon, he doesn't do anything. He just comes out, wrestles, goes home. Don't know nothing else really about him. Royce Keys now, he gonna come out, he gonna wrestle people, but ain't gonna really get into nothing other than what he doing. He just gonna wrestle. Then you got Obo, just comes out, he wrestles somebody, he throws somebody around, and he goes back in the back. Why are all these wrestlers not building storylines? Wrestling is theater. Wrestling's supposed to have people and storylines to get us excited for. Stephanie Vergara versus Liv Morgan made sense because Stephanie Vergara tried to knock that bitch out for real in real life. So it made sense why they wanted to beef. The reason why we was also excited about Oba versus Brock, it was just the power. But it was a reason. This whole message you doing now, no one cares what you keep doing with these black guys. Y'all are filling up the roster with matches no one care about because they're entertaining, but you know that you don't want them to be stars because you don't develop anything around them. See, what you got to understand for black people, a lot of times, your job is to go out here and just entertain. You're not supposed to build anything. You're not supposed to become legendary at anything. You're supposed to entertain the people today and move on. That's why so many Godfathers came along and people like that we entertained them for a while. What's the dude Brutus? He was out there with the Funkadactyls. Just go out there and entertain. The New Day. Go out here with your little bullhorn and throw booty holes in the It's just always that. But when it's time to get serious, when it's time to build legacy, when it's time to have it to where a person's supposed to be all the fame of all greatest of all time, they never get into those positions. Other than The Rock, the only black one at all. I don't know what happened to Randy Remix. They just said forget all that. But anyway, that's just my opinion on wrestling. Ricky Saint, I'm going to tell you, won't be around next year. I'm just picking. I just say that because the young man to me, again, I don't know what I meant, but people say he's going to be really, really good. I don't know. He's like the other dude, the Ethan Page guy. I just got to watch him. I don't know enough about him. I just would tell you, the way they presented him the other day, it didn't hit for me last week. So we'll see what happens. But I heard he Cody people. So makes sense. Trick, okay. Again, I'm going to keep saying what I keep saying about Trick Williams. Lil Yachty is there to be a distraction. Lil Yachty is there because they want him to be something. He is stifling Trick. He does not need to be there. People keep saying he's entertained. Why is a man who can talk on a microphone need a sock? He didn't need one. You keep doing things to make it less about Trick and more about the stuff around him. Trick is, I'm going to hate to tell y'all, they don't want Trick to be a star. Trick is only there because the crowd asks for Trick. Trick is very entertaining. Trick does a lot of those things well, but they keep making stuff around Trick special. His coat, his co-star. It's Sammy and the gingerbread man there. You notice that they keep building around him, but they're not focusing on Trick. And so what's going to happen is when Trick, and see, y'all got to understand psychology. When people dominate you, if they're going to dominate the world, they have to do it through psychology. They have to understand the way your mind works. People think of like some controllers being brute force. No, warfare happens every day. War rarely happens. When they dropping bombs, you know it. Warfare happens every day, and that's what's happening. When you see black wrestlers and you say to themselves, but they're on the main roster, you don't understand warfare. You don't understand that I can't remove them completely from it. I'll give you an example, and I'm not going to make it political. But this whole voting rights thing that they done took stuff away. You see how they got black people up in the uproar? That's because it's direct. See, when you're not direct, people don't even know what's happening. That's how you get stuff built and done. That's how you tell a person who should be a guaranteed bona fide star how to not become a guaranteed bona fide star. It's if you stifle him. Again, if you highlight his deficiencies and minimize his attributes, he's not going to be a star, no matter how good his intangibles are. That's just all I'm saying. So anyways, moving on. I don't know what they'll say. They're going to keep gingerbread men together, and I can't remove the thing. For some reason, my keyboard done died, I think. So I can't do this. Oh, now it's working. So now, match of the night. So Cody versus Gunther. That's what we're going to go with. That's what that segment right here. I think we all know the outcome of this. If they're going to wrestle at Backlash. Now, this is they're smart. This is what they would do. I would have Cody win tonight on Backlash. But then I would have him and Gunther continue into a feud, because if you have Cody drop the belt now, it kind of tarnishes him a little bit, and you can't build a feud with him. Only way Gunther wins tomorrow, in my opinion, is if Gunther heavily cheats to win it, and then him and Cody enter in the feud that way. But this has to go on for a while. Cody's legacy needs that dude. It can't be Drew McIntyre. It can't be Randy Orton. I know the people who wanted us to care about Randy versus Cody, nobody did. We didn't care that he was under Cody. No one cares. Cody is the guy that y'all putting in position, so he's gonna have the story has to be great. The thing versus Roman was so good because it had so many different elements in it. You had Roman's mystique in it. You had the whole bloodline thing going on. Then you had The Rock coming in doing some of his best character work. So it wasn't even really Cody. Cody was set up for an alley-oop in that one. Now he needs somebody. Gunther. And what I'm gonna tell you. This is so bad because this is how much I talked so much trash about Gunther last year and the year before that. But it's so bad because Gunther ready to rest Cody and I'm going for Gunther. Gunther be breaking you down the ring. When I tell you, look, I read someone one time, you know how they all got their rumors. They was like, Seth Rollins has a problem with the way Gunther wrestles sometimes. Gunther's intense in the ring. Gunther, I ain't seen nobody this intense since Bob Cole Holly in the ring. Bob Cole was intense like this too. I'm just saying. So it's beautiful to watch for me as a fan because I like it to look realistic. You know what I'm saying? What is somebody saying? Right. Jane didn't supposed to go as far as it. Yeah, he did. No, Jane wasn't. Okay. Didn't supposed to go as far. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, but yeah, I think right here in this segment, we know what's going to happen. They're going to beef a little bit. They're going to talk. I just say at Backlash, I'm going with Gunther. Let's switch this thing up at SmackDown a little bit. But I got a feeling they're going to go Cody Gunther. But Cody needs this. Gunther come out there and keep choking you out, though. It'll get some attention. That's what I say. Anyway, hit the like button, man. Share the live, man. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. We almost done. I'm almost at the end. That sounds like I said, I didn't have much I wanted to cover. Anything else I got on that board that I didn't catch? And you know they're going to throw some matches, some random matches in here that we're not going to know nothing about in the middle. So they're going to throw some random matches in there at the end, and no one's going to care about them. So let's wait for those matches. And but outside of that, I don't really have much else that I had going on for on this day's episode. I appreciate you guys coming out and kicking with a brother a little bit. I enjoy these conversations with the family. I really, really do. I'm trying to get this thing down. Here we go. I really, really enjoy the conversation with the family because we get to talk, do this good jazz. Keep sharing the lives, man. Hopefully, like I said, TikTok will realize, hey, man, he don't mean no offense, and let me get it open back up. Like, the day that their live went down, I think we had like 200, 250 people in there at that time. 300 people, somewhere was in there. And now we're barely getting 300 eyes in this thing at all. And it's just crazy because, like I said, I end up with like 4,000 people. We end up coming through it sometimes. They stifle it all. And all we doing is talking they talk. And the last thing, this is what I will say before I get out of here. Y'all know that whole thing now where they saying the WWE and them is now striking people's accounts for sharing their content. I was like, welcome to the freaking club. Them folks never allowed my little YouTubian struggle streamer channel, who has no following really. You guys, if I played a breath of something that was WWE's content, wasn't even a segment. People be live streaming it the whole night. I couldn't post a picture that was theirs. They strike that. Not even the strike where they say they're showing in some parts of the country. No, they were like, nah, this is revoked. You're like, God, why my channel? Then I go right on TikTok, right on YouTube, right on Instagram, and watch people live streaming. They ain't affiliated with the company. So good luck. Come on down here with me and suffer with my little channel since I can't live stream none of that. Anyways, I digress. Anyways, people, that's on today's episode, man. I appreciate you guys for coming on now. Let me make sure no comments over here. I appreciate everybody for coming on now. We had a little decent following. I'm going to come back again, like I said, probably on Monday. If all this, if the weekend goes well. And we make this thing pop. Make sure, again, like I said, if you ain't following the channel, follow the channel. And we'll get this thing popping again next week. I appreciate you guys for all the love. And I see you on the next one. All right, my people. Peace. All right.